Hey everybody, welcome to a video for WIN-911 2021 and how to set up the email gateway settings. My name is Jeremiah. I'm the Training and Technical Support Manager here at WIN-911. Here we go. In the new WIN-911 workspace, you're going to open up the menu if this is collapsed and go down to Gateways. And you'll see I already have an existing email and mobile gateway, and we're just going to go ahead and delete this gateway so you can see it set up from scratch. Alright, so we now no longer have an email gateway, so you're going to click on this plus sign to create one. It'll pop up with which type. We have the email is the only option because my mobile one already exists. I'm going to have this warning at the top. Please note messages from this account will be deleted. Do not use your personal or organizational email address for the WIN-911 email gateway. So you can check that box, and again, just like that explains, if you use an account that has important emails in it, it's going to wipe out that inbox. So just go make your own new Gmail account, or use one that you don't really have to worry about the emails inside being wiped clean. Everybody can go make a free Gmail account whenever they want to, so I would just suggest making a new one for this purpose. So the settings in here, you can give it a name, my email gateway. The host, I'm going to be showing you how to set up Gmail, smtp.gmail.com. Important thing to note, if you are not going to set this up using Gmail the way I'm showing you today, if you're going to be using your own company internal mail server, every single setting in here will be managed and entered by the network administrator or server admin or whoever's in charge of your mail server at the company. So they would have their own host, that's their mail server they manage. They would enable or disable the use of TLS. They would specify the port of being 25 for just plain old SMTP or TLS SSL secure ports. They would create the email address that's allowed to send through it, username and password. Every single setting in here would come from whoever set up that internal mail server, not from WIN-911 or anybody else. WIN-911 is just a mail client that is requesting permission to send email through whichever host is entered here, whichever SMTP server host. So for a very simple and easy to set up for everybody guide, I'm going to be using smtp.gmail.com. So you want to check use TLS SSL, check allow invalid certificates. I've already created an email address for this purpose. It's called win911email@gmail.com. And the username, if you're using Gmail, is going to be the exact same thing. This is what you would go log into Gmail as, and my password to log into that email account. Now with just those basic settings with the host, TLS, allow invalid certificates, the email address, the username, and the password, you should be able to click on test outgoing settings, send it to a test email, and you can see not able to authenticate to your SMTP server. This may be because of a username, password, or TLS setting is incorrect. Verify the outgoing email gateway settings with your mail server's administrator. So there's a problem here, right? And maybe it's because I mistyped my password, so I'm going to go ahead and try this again. And there we go. So I had the wrong password to my own email account. Go ahead and type in the password again. You can also just go ahead and log in to Gmail from this machine and make sure that you can actually log into your account here. That will give you the right username and the right password. Once you can successfully log in, you would plug in that username and password here and get a good successful test. Now, moving down, we have the incoming mail server. You can check the box for incoming mail if you want to use incoming mail. So this is going to be for an interactive or advanced license. If you want to be able to acknowledge the alarms via email, you can enable this incoming mail server. If you don't have any need to acknowledge alarms via email, you just want to send outbound messages, you do not have to check this. So, for the incoming mail server, you have the type, POP3 or IMAP, and again, a spot for a host. So I'm using Gmail, so I'm going to show you what, if you don't know what the POP or IMAP server settings should be here, anybody can just open up a browser and you can just go search for Gmail POP settings. And it'll give you plenty of examples out there on the internet. How to configure Gmail POP settings, this top one here. This is going to take you through the actual settings inside of Gmail, in your Gmail account. Again, there's plenty of sources to find this information to turn it on in the actual Gmail account. But what we are looking for is to configure the email client, because again, WIN-911 is just an email client trying to send emails through a mail server. So we would be looking for the POP server address, which is just pop.gmail.com. So same thing as it would be for the smtp.gmail.com as the SMTP server. We're going to be going to pop.gmail.com. Use SSL, allow invalid certificates. You'll notice that the port here, 995, should automatically be the POP port if you're using POP, and if you were using IMAP, it would automatically change to 993. But we're going to stick with POP3, pop.gmail.com, and 995. Use outgoing credentials as checked. So we're going to be using the same email address as our outgoing, so just keep that checked. If there is a scenario where you want to use a different account for the incoming, you could specify and type in the new username and password, but most likely everyone will just use the outgoing credentials for the same account. And you can test incoming settings. Incoming server settings test successful. So there you go. Save changes, and you now have an email gateway using smtp.gmail.com as the outgoing with an email address that you have access to, username and password. Enable incoming if you want to. We're using POP3 in this example, pop.gmail.com for the host. Use SSL, allow invalid certificates, use the outgoing credentials, so it's going to use the same account that's up here. Save those settings. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.